surround yourself with people that are positively doing the things that you want to achieve, and you're doing that every day with the podcast and with the stuff. So then where did you squeeze in?
So just to add in, it's just like, okay, just to take it a bit church. Iron sharpens iron.
Listen, we need to kind of document this journey, like how we're getting on and the ups and the downs and stuff like that. And then we just literally recorded the episode there and there. We went back in the car, recorded the episode, and then after, brought Kenny in, and then took it from there.
I feel like when we brought Kenny in, I think for us two, it was more just, let's just document what we're doing.
Because we were like in Birmingham,
Yeah, so we moved out to Birmingham. We're doing some rent-to-rents. He purchased some properties.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Property by Kazy Podcast. Normally, I've got a certain introduction. I've been saying the best property podcast. But today I've got the pioneers and the competition. But
Come on.
The boys, the Prop Strat. So introduce yourselves.
What's going on, guys? My name is Goke, Property Strat.
What's going on, guys? My name's Kenny from Property Strat.
And what's going on, guys? Akin from Property Strat. What's good?
Hold on, before we get into the rest of the podcast, a quick note from our sponsors, London Mortgage Solutions, our tried, tested and recommended property finance brokerage. Whether you're looking for bridging finance, buy-to-let mortgages or commercial mortgages, these guys have got it all covered and will give you great advice. They can also arrange both residential and life insurance. They've helped myself as well as many of my listeners already, so if you want to find out how they can help you, click the link in the description below. So I first saw you guys early when I joined Instagram. You lot doing, because you lot are deep in this property podcast space.
Yes.
There was some contention when I asked you off mic. So it was somewhere between 80 to 100 episodes in.
Yes.
Yep.
When did you first start?
We started, was it 2018?
Wait, what is this?
Are you talking about property journey? You're talking about podcast journey?
Podcast.
Journey. We started, the concept started in 2018, but the actual first episode was like proper, let's do this thing, was January 2019.
Yeah, because we started off the back of, we was in a car. And then me and Aki went to a viewing actually, and then we said, right, this life is tough, man, it's hard. So we said, listen, we need to kind of document this journey, like how we're getting on and the ups and the downs and stuff like that. And then we just literally recorded the episode there and there. We went back in the car, recorded the episode, and then after, brought Kenny in, and then took it from there.
I feel like when we brought Kenny in, I think for us two, it was more just, let's just document what we're doing.
Because we were like in Birmingham,
so we moved out to Birmingham. We're doing some rent-to-rents. He'd purchased some properties, and we were like, alright, cool, let's actually, we're in early 20s, let's actually like document the stuff. And then he came on board and was like, no, let's actually go studio with it, let's actually make it serious, let's put a Twitter out there, and so, you know, we kind of through him made it more of a formalised thing, innit? So,
Well, that's a lot of, like, from day one to get sort of 3 years in and still going, still recording, still strong. That's a lot of dedication. I think in any vocation that you're in, that commitment to something to see it through is, because I know you've had days where you're thinking to yourself, the boys, they came today on their way. He don't even want to be here right now. He's already in Dubai. He's ready. I'm going to ask him questions. I'm going to say, sorry, he's going to answer in difference.
You ready to fly out, boy?
Word, man.
That is what it takes. It takes a level of commitment to a craft, and I think to do that, it's actually got to be something you've got a passion for. When I watch your interviews, when I watch obviously your content, I can see that not only are you interested in what people are doing, but you also want to learn and take tips. And I think that's the really good thing about being in this space. It's like, on a low, it's a cheat code, because I see, like, for example, you get somebody like Stephanie Taylor, and like she really knows her rent to rent. Like she's really got good when it comes to mindset, systemizing, how to actually grow, like what can be a hustle to a brand and a business.
Literally.
And you could pay literally thousands, like her course is I think a couple £1,000 to join her full course, but we get to sit down and just ask those questions.
Exactly.
And I get to do the same, like whether it's sit down with people that are buying their first property or people that have got 50 million in development.
Exactly.
And there's something to learn from all of them. So before you got into the actually setting up the podcast, and we're going to get into that a little bit more, how long had you been in property before that?
Yeah, so for me, I think it was a couple years, you know. because I finished uni, got my first property after uni, and it was like, okay, what do I do now, kind of thing. What's the next step? So then we started looking into rent to rent. Me and Kenny started looking into rent to rent.
Let's wind that back a little bit. You finished uni. How did you? Because that's the thing I think about property, and one of the reasons why I think like places like the Property Strat and what I do and what loads of other people are now doing is creating awareness of buying property. But sometimes because it was like previously in our journey, you saying I got a property, that makes it sound like you just found some keys and that's how you got a house.
It wasn't that.
So talk me through the process. How did you get that first property? Was it residential? Where was it?
Yeah. So my first property was residential. So I went to uni in Birmingham. So I studied pharmacy, finished uni now. I come out now, I'm like,
oh, I've got a good pharmacist to link you with.
Oh yeah.
Property pharmacy guys.
Literally, so I come out of uni, I'm like, right, I want to earn more money, but this pharmacy thing, man, the ceiling's there, innit? I want to do more, kind of thing. I've always been interested in property. So I think that's when I kind of thought, okay, I'm in Birmingham. Property prices back then was like 100k for a 3-bed. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. And
because you come from London.
Because I come from London, yes.
And you've seen the difference. So
mad difference.
Potentially being in London, you looked at it and said,
I said, it's not happening. I said, it's not happening. Do you know what I mean? I come out of uni, earning 35k a year, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I can't afford nothing in London with that salary. So I said, okay, let me try and go up in Birmingham and try and do something. And I even went further outskirts of Birmingham, so an area called Dudley went to. Exactly. And things were even cheaper. I bought my first property at 77k. Back then, there was a 2-bed with a loft. So like practically a 3-bed. So man, so kind of went from there, got it, was there for a couple.
Do you feel like, because you said like you're always interested in property, and I think a lot of us always understand property because we know we need somewhere to live. So from that level, it becomes tangible. Like, I need to be able to sleep somewhere. I need my 4 walls. I need my door, and I also want it to be nice. But when you say like you're always interested, how much did you know? Because even the idea of how did you know London wasn't affordable for
That's
you?
a good question.
How did you know what affordability meant? Was that something you looked into? Was it something you had friends doing?
Good question. I come out of uni, I didn't really think it was possible for me to own a property. I wasn't really thinking about it at uni. I come out of uni and I think I read the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Obviously everyone knows about that book. Yeah, so he's brother, he's my cousin, so he kind of sent me that book. But I think I looked at it once and I wasn't really interested. And then I think I saw people around me, someone else, my missus now, she had a property. And I was talking to her and then she was like, yeah, I got a property in Wolverhampton. I'm like, okay, cool. You know when you're trying to move to a girl and then you're trying to...
This is a familiar feel. You dropped that little light stuff. Did you say, you got a car?
Literally.
You got a property?
Literally. I was like, all right, cool. So because of that, and because of the book I read, I started looking into it. Like, what is it then? Obviously, you hear about the concept of the rat race and stuff like that. And I'm like, I need to get involved in this thing people are talking about. And then through that, man, I just jumped in, man. Just started looking.
And I think for a lot of people that look at property, it's that stage of, okay, first understanding what property is, then understanding why it's important. And you had different things of, people coming along talking about property. So that's the level of understanding, awareness. Then why it's important. So reading a book, people like you said, it was your brother? Your brother that gave you the book. So people around you, they're elevating you where you're trying to get to in terms of what you want out of life and what you think you could potentially achieve. And then there's the next step of, is it actually obtainable? So having a conversation with somebody who's your age mate, who's done it. Like, depending on your mentality, that could either two things. It either pushes you back to say, make excuses for yourself, or okay, so what is it that I need to do? Because we're no different. We're the same age. Everybody's got slightly different circumstances. But I can see that it's doable, and now I just need to work on those steps.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like even just jumping in, I'm gonna let Akin jump in, but that is the essence of why we started the podcast.
That's what I was gonna say. Literally, I was gonna say like the whole point of it was this idea of, because obviously he had this whole journey of buying his first property. He went on to do rent to rent with Goke. At this point in time, I think I just boxed him maybe in church or something on ends, and I seen him and I said, yo, like I heard you doing all these things and stuff. Like I'm gonna move. Like I'm looking to go back to Birmingham as well because I just graduated as well. Move back. I want to get into it. And he was like, yeah, go for it. I remember moving back down, staying in his rent to rent. I was actually there the day that he bought his first property as well. And,
Who's in Goke?
Yeah.
So
he was there for the viewing actually.
Yeah,
Funny
at
enough.
that time he picked me up from uni, went to do the viewing, he bought the property, and obviously intrinsically I just told myself, I did, and my brother bought a property 6 months later as well, you know, together, but it was in his name at the time. So I was like, okay, cool, well, this is what we do in my family, then we buy properties in our 20s, so then I thought, okay, cool, end up moving down, getting a first rent to rent, getting another rent to rent, and then I said to him, let's document this stuff, because if I'm seeing it, I'm feeling that, wow, just because I saw you do it, I'm gonna do it too. If other people see it, then everyone else is gonna do it, do you know what I mean? Then it's gonna be like a snowball effect, and that's what ended up happening. A lot of people, you know, got onto it because of that way.
And I think with watching it, it's you get the property bug.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Word.
You go from you know, your explorer page being something you have to open like this. Like it just I'm seeing developments, I'm seeing refurbs, I'm seeing positiveness, I'm seeing vibes. So it's normalizing that as something that you want to see within the culture, and just like you put out the energy that you kind of want to receive. So having the conversation with various people means that you can kind of grow your own knowledge. So with you, and I think the same thing, you saw somebody doing it, and you said you weren't that close at the time. Like you said you met in church.
Yeah, no, we saw.
It's my cousin, but obviously you know your cousin, you
like the older cousin. You know,
you see him when you see him in it, but obviously we're tight, but you don't see him all the time. So when I heard from my mum that he moved back to Bones, and you know, obviously I was there the day he got his property, but I heard that he went to do this property thing full time, like try and do it full time.
The reason I touched on that is, you know, I think a lot of the time you have to surround yourself with what you're trying to achieve and what you aspire to, and that doesn't mean you're going to run after the people. I want to be the guy, you know what I mean, snapping on someone's table. Literally. Surround yourself with people that are positively doing the things that you want to achieve, and you're doing that every day with the podcast and with the stuff. So then where did you squeeze in?
So just to add in, it's just like, okay, just to take it a bit church. Iron sharpens iron. And it's like, obviously Goke's been my boy from like year 7. Do you know what I'm saying? So we know what each of us are doing. So I was in church one time and he just came to me and said, yo, I just obviously bought a house. I'm like, bought a house? Like,
he put it back, because the girl like did it to him, he said, I need to read
listen, but it was so foreign to me then that I didn't even know how to react. I was like, oh, is that good for you? Is that good?
I heard that.
Because I just didn't think it was possible. Like, we were young then. Like, how old were we? Like 22,
23,
So I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know what that meant, but I was like, okay, it makes sense. Then like a year later now, talking to him, and I thought, you know, let me start getting into this property thing. Let me try and understand what it means, because I didn't even get it. Then I think I sent him a book that I was reading. I can't remember what it was now, but he was like, okay, so you're on this. So we started talking more about property stuff now.
Can I pause you? See that there as well, because a lot of the time, and say for example, you started earlier as an older cousin. You hear people, like you might hear that the default, what's that property thing? Where do I start from? Like,
that's it.
Where do I from a real granular level, like, I would love to help you, but I don't have it's saying this.
Just do that.
The fact that he said, look, this is something that I'm reading. What do you think?
Okay.
I've read this. Like, so I've done this much, but I have a specific question.
That's
for people that kind of want to get into property, I think that's the
best way.
Something key. Go and learn as much as you can, read as much as you can, listen as much as you can, engage with as much people as you can. And at the point in time where you're like, there's a gap in my knowledge. If you reach out to me to be like, okay, I've done this, and this, but what does this mean? You're way more likely to get a good answer. 100%. Because the quality of the answer generally relates to the quality of the question.
100%.
There you go.
So go on, I interrupt you.
No, it's cool. So obviously, as time's gone on now, talking more about it, then he goes, man, rent to rent. So then he's telling me about it. I'm like, okay, this makes perfect sense. This makes perfect sense. Then he told me how he basically turned down the deal, and I think back then, like, it was about $2,000 a month that he had to commit to, and obviously that was a lot for like us back then. So we were like, bro, I could have gone harsh with you though. You know what I mean? And from that conversation, we were like, okay, let's do this properly. So I'm saying, so we didn't have money then, like that. Like, we're both young, still working, and I think during our lunch breaks we'll just start calling. So he'll be based in Birmingham, and I'm here in London, still calling. So we'll call up, and then eventually we started to document what we were trying to do as well. One of my friends reached out to me and was like, hey, you know, one of my mums has got a property, like tenants trashed the place.
Tenants
no, my cousin called me. My mum's got a property, one of the tenants trashed the place. What you man do? Could you take over this place? So that, yeah, of course we can. Went there. It was right by Abbeywood Station. It made sense. Obviously, the place was trash, but we were like, okay, we can put, you know, money together. We can put about $3,000 in and fix this place up. And then we fixed the place up, started renting it out, and then from there it was just like, yo, we can actually do this.
Yeah.
Let's get more. Let's get more. Let's get more.
That was your proof of concept. That showed you that what you were actually doing worked. 'Cause a lot of time you're out here, you're saying you're having conversations, you're reading the books, but the theory is different.
The theory is different from practical.
I think that is the other thing that a lot of people underestimate, the power of, because initially, like, I can go out there and say, yo, I'm Kaz, I do X, Y, or Z. You can be like, yo, I do this, and whatever. But, you know, people don't really know you. They don't know your character. They don't know your integrity.
Exactly.
But whereas your cousin that knows you and then now sees that you do something. So I think for a lot of people that are either, whether it's looking to get your first deal on, looking to raise investor finance, looking to find a business partner, look close to home first.
That's what we say.
That's the first thing.
That's a big point.
And it's so common that I get people, for example, you know, Tej. Tej, he's like, one of his big things is he was raising investor finance. And he talks about it, he says, look, I raised, I think it was like a couple £100,000 in the space of 9 months to enable him to buy like, I think it was 12 properties. And he says, but the first money I raised was through a family member. And that was because beyond the fact that they believed they knew what you were doing, they knew you as a person and had that integral trust that you're going to deliver. And then once you now delivered with somebody's money, somebody who maybe wouldn't give you that trust off the bat,
know you like that.
Now you've got a track record. Absolutely. I borrowed this, I did this, here's my proof of concept. And you would have the same with that first rent to rent. Here's the property that I took on, you're documenting it, the befores, the afters, and then you've got a reference point.
That's it. Till today, even like raising finance, like you said, that's our first go-to. Like, look around you, like, because people around you trust you. Do you know what I'm saying? They trust that.
They've been seeing you.
They see more than anyone else sees. So it's like, man. Like, in regards to advising people, just look around you first, man.
And then it also like links back into integrity because they are seeing you. You can't hide who you are.
That's another thing.
Being the guy that, you know what I mean, that says, oh yeah, we all chip in, and then doesn't send the money.
Those little things count.
The £10. And sometimes, like in life, those little £10 can be the cheapest lesson you can learn about somebody who to not and to business with.
Some certain man will bring back the receipts and say, I remember back in uni you didn't pay for the table that back then, so I can't really trust.
No, do you know what?
That's at the table.
No, I promise you. I've had conversations, like I've not done deals like that, maybe 6-7 figure deals, because I was like, no, I remember you agreed to pay somebody for something. Like, you agreed to pay somebody, like you signed a contract to pay for something, some drawings or something like that. And I introduced you, so it was my name that was on the line, and you like didn't act with integrity. So therefore, when you now brought me this deal, good deal, bad deal, I'm not involved.
I'm not on it.
For real.
And I think your name is really important.
That's the thing. That's a huge point. I remember the one of the deals I raised for last year. You know, you teach people how to get finance and stuff like that. But for this one, I wasn't even looking for finance, and the person just said, "Oh, by the way, when you're looking for your next deal, come to me, I'll finance it, and we'll go." And that just hit me. I was like, right, people always looking for deals and stuff, but someone that was watching me the whole time and said, when you get your next deal, I'll back you. And that said something to me. I was like, whatever you're doing, always move with integrity. And we'll never know.
And that's it. Because it is like, let me not pretend that money is super important in property, and it is very chicken and egg. You can't do your first deal to prove who you are. Word. You can't get the money without doing your first deal. So you are stuck at that point. But at a certain point, the money doesn't become what's important. I think, you know, Anthony Laville.
Of course.
He said it best when we did our Property Insider series. That people always think money is the hard part, but the money isn't the hard part. In your rent-to-rent deals, the hard part is getting to the point where you need that money.
Exactly.
Even in flipping property, if I've got an amazing deal and I turn up to a networking event and I'm like, listen, I've got this deal, it's got this ROI.
The money will follow.
You'll find the money because the deal talks. But you have to couple that with your integrity.
Definitely.
So when did you first hear about rent-to-rent? It's like, it's one of those things that now it's commonplace, everyone can, but was it online, was it a friend? Like, how did you first hear
I think what it was after the first property, I wanted to get the next one, but it was like, I can't stay. I was working as a pharmacist, and I can't just save up, wait another 2 years to save up to get something else. So, kind of looking on YouTube, trying to see strategies and all of that. So I think I came across a video which recommended the book, and I think the book was Rent to Rent by Tara Xiaomi. Yeah. Read that book now. I was like, I remember there was a table in the book that kind of showed her. I think she had 10 properties, and it was making like 600. Everything accumulated to like 5 bags a month, and I was like, hang on a minute. That's when I called Kenley. Was like,
and then I must have bought the book straight away. Read it. I was like, this is crazy.
But it's the value of information, because until you know that, you don't know that. You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know what you don't know.
Some of these moments are crazy light bulb moments where you're like,
you can
do this.
Make money with that.
And there is another way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why your podcast was like so amazing to me. I was like, so I was gassed. And you said, come on. I was like, I'm coming.
Stop it, man.
No, I'm being serious. But I'm actually like, there's times where, because when I'm talking like this, and I'm excited, I'm confident, it's free flowing. It's because I'm talking about something that I really like. You catch me on a normal day, and I'm sitting there. I'll tell you a funny story. My first networking event I went to was like nobody knew that I knew anything about property. I didn't feel confident because networking events could be a bit stuffy,
absolutely,
and like a bit intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are talking million.
Yeah, and you're just there,
and I'm there. And even though I'd done stuff, I
didn't feel
property for a number of years, and still didn't really feel like I fit in. I've gone to this business partner at the time was pushing us out. We got to try and go to one amount, build the brand, pushing, stressing me out. Gone to this event. When I told you I was at this event for like 3 hours. The only person I spoke to was the black brother that was pouring the drink.
pouring the drink.
I was just there with it.
What?
I did because I just felt like, it's easy to just feel like intimidated, not confident. But then you having conversations out there means that people feel, and the way it's delivered, that okay, not everything is start up here. You can have conversations from all different stages, and you've had so many guests on that. There's something to learn for everybody from every episode. So if you're watching this, like there's 80 plus episodes, and when people say, where do I start? That's like 80 hours. That's days and days of content. People are putting in they're putting in their time. Their guests are coming in and adding specific expertise.
Absolutely.
So I say check it out, because there's so much, time. The people want to learn.
Yeah.
If it's free, you get to say, you can spend an hour of your time and say, okay, you know what? Maybe because of what they said about serviced accommodation, that's not for me. I like the HMO.
Literally.
And then at that point in time, when you feel like, okay, I've got a good base, maybe you can feel confident to start doing it, or maybe you feel like I want to go and do a course or something else. But it gives you that opportunity to learn and work out what you do or don't like.
Honestly, man.
Another thing that you said that was so important is that the podcast is sick. It's a good resource, and I feel like similar to you, right? Like in our day-to-day lives, like thankfully we've come across a lot of people that are doing really well. I mean, that even look like us as well. And representation is so important. I think part of the podcast as well is that you can come in as a first-time buyer. You can be an experienced investor. You can listen to our thing and you're gonna hear someone talking. You're gonna grab a gem. I remember I was speaking to Romero, Brighton Investment. Shout out to him, and he was like, I listen to you lot all the time. And obviously he's gone clear. He's gone clear. You know what I'm saying? He's gone clear, and he was still saying that he picks up gems because he listens to that specific episode where he picked up something. And of course, we get first-time buyers that say, "Thanks so much for the episode" and stuff like that. So I think that's part of it as well, like exposing the conversations that we have internally, like we might have with you, but then putting it out to the world. Like, do you know how much I would have wanted that when I started?
For real.
And I still use it for my own journey. Like, I listened to your episode the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to
Whenever
this again.
Like peer to peer, like the things that you actually pick up from your boys or people doing the same thing, it's like things that you wouldn't have heard otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of why we actually do what we do, and we love hearing other people too, because there's always something to learn. There's always something.
Cool. Let me put some pressure on now.
Free for pressure.
Free for pressure.
Come on.
So he said about all these great guests and great episodes. But I want a favorite guest from each of you on your
mad.
No, but it doesn't have to be just for your own personally. Like who you really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Who have you? Give me somebody you really enjoyed.
There was a guy called Kazy, that came.
Excuse me.
No, you
Let him talk.
No, I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
Tell me about him.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. My favorite episode was Moise, isn't it? Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
The guy's a hustler. Like,
Shout out to
obviously,
Moise.
he came on talking about property, but like, just his mentality, man. Like, you just know that if it makes money and it makes sense, let's go. Kind of. So I left there literally. I felt fired that day, man. I'm not gonna lie, man.
And sometimes it doesn't have to be the person that you're like, this one's doing stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes someone's just got to give you that energy. That
Energy, yes.
Oh, girl, like, they make you wanna beat your chest and go out.
Trust me, yeah. And that's what that was for me, man.
Yeah. For me, would you go in?
Yeah. I mean, I was about to go.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I would say for me, because you might actually take my one.
I'm scared.
I would say for me, because he's taken one of mine as well. I'm gonna say Axel Blake.
Oh yeah.
Because
Axel.
like when he came, obviously comedian, that's his main thing. But then the fact that he's doing property and he's so on it and he's not a joker, like he's a regular guy, but he's ready to get, you know, his hands dirty. Like he will make a call and drive up that same day, Wolverhampton. He's on it, like he's not joking around.
Brand new series with myself, Kaz from Property by Kazy, bringing together some of the best developers and development projects across the UK.
This is probably my favourite flat because of the challenges.
This property was purchased for approximately 980,000.
So we're now in the hallway of flat number 9.
We should be generating £4,250 per calendar month.
Yeah, we did a full rewire, full replumb, the boiler's over your shoulder, all the copper was gone.
You've got the flip deals, BRRR, ground up construction, new build houses, conversions, office to residential, you name it, we're gonna go and see it. So if you wanna see some of the best developments in the UK, subscribe right now. Yeah, no, Axel, we had him on, he's good energy. And I think the thing I like about Axel is he's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Nah,
he's not afraid.
Like I see it, even now, when I see that he's shining on, you know what I mean, on TV and doing stuff, he's still at the refurbs, like smashing up a bath or doing X, Y, or Z. So,
And it's even funny because something that he was saying to me was that like he actually likes to go there and find out the price of this and that so that builders can't bump him.
Nah, he loves it.
Try and, you know, say
he wants to know a lot.
He wants to know as like he will try and do as much as he can, and then the other stuff he'll get someone else to do. But he's trying to cut costs too, so that's why I like him. Like he's a very practical guy. He does what he says he's gonna do, and that's it.
No, definitely. Either way, he's been on both, so I check out both of his episodes. There's a lot to learn. So, mate, they left you to. Did anyone take your pick?
I don't know, but I think for me, there's a couple that come to mind to be fair, but the one that comes to mind at the moment, obviously, Kaz as well. So. No, to be fair, no, your episode was sick, man. Because at the time we brought you on, I think you'd come out. Because you come out recently, you kind of just went off.
I had it like, because that was, like you said, like 2019.
Yeah.
It was definitely sort of 2020, I think. Or So I'd only just joined Instagram.
Exactly. People just shouting us every time, yo, bring Kazy. And when you came on, you brought the energy, man. You brought the facts. You went into details as well. You know, a lot of people that come on sometimes they can be really shy and don't really talk too much details. But you went in and it was good and it was chill. And we vibed off. And got that relationship, and those are the best interviews where it's just general chat and it's not really ego or thing or anything like that. Just come in, we speak, we have a good time, and then go on.
No, appreciate you, my brother. I will definitely go check that episode. I know you have no idea which your episodes are.
I don't know which one that was, bro.
But just search the name, search the Property Strat, and you're gonna find it. But I think, definitely. The energy is key because when you vibe and you're actually having a real conversation, you tend to find that a lot more comes out, and that's in the podcast, but that's in business as well. If you've got a good relationship with somebody, that's often the start of a good foundation. You know, you guys talked about setting up a rent-to-rent business and doing things together, but you've got to make sure you're strategically aligned to work together day to day, and also like ongoing, because you gotta understand what you both want out of the business.
Values, for real.
If you're looking at building 100 property portfolio and you're like, listen, I've got bills to pay, they're gonna be counterproductive goals. So I think definitely having those conversations, building relationships, but early on, like, you know, formalizing things, whether it's article of association, founders agreements, and getting those in
shareholders
place.
agreement.
Just as much as your friends, understand how you're going to operate going forward. That's it. And then the other thing that you touched on was just that I think people shy away from a bit too much is let's be real about the numbers. Like let's actually talk numbers, because I think in black culture it's like a lot of the time we don't talk about money. Like money's a dirty thing. Like, you shouldn't talk about it, or because maybe some people have been doing things that are maybe not legitimate for the money. It's like you can't talk about it. But when you're talking about business, for somebody to understand, okay, do I want to get involved with you? They've kind of got to understand the numbers. So I think actually having conversations and having real conversations about how much does it cost to buy a property? What does a refurb cost? What's the cost of this? Like, where did you spend money?
The numbers don't lie.
But not only that, it means that other people understand based on where they are, what they potentially need to save and how they can.
For real. And we're so passionate about it when it comes to the podcast. When we have people on, like, we're like, okay, I hear you. But like, how did you, like, especially the first one, like, how much did you have to save? Like, how did that person kind of get on? Because it's important, because otherwise people are just going to think, because one thing Kenny always says is sometimes you get people that are up here, but then how did you get here and how did you get here? And do you know what I mean? You want to understand the steps. So
the steps is micro steps and micro goals. And then also, like, when it comes to, because a lot of it, before you start investing, you have to start saving. But saving without a goal is hard. And to work out actually a goal that means something to you means it needs to be benchmarked against something achievable. So i.e., if you know that you need £15,000 to put down your 10% deposit, it's a lot easier to work towards that and say, okay, I made it, I've got 1,000. Now I've got 3,000, now I've got 5. But you don't take those steps back because you know what you're working towards. And I think people being transparent with the numbers helps you.
Also being even transparent about the way you bring that money, because 15,000 might be, £10,000 from savings. 5k might come from your brother or your friend or whatever. And being honest about that as well. Like, we speak about doing loan agreements, JVs, like, let's real that you're not gonna just have money to keep buying properties. You have to be creative, like, and in the black cultures, or sometimes it's only about saving, but in other cultures, you save, you come together, you do creative. That's how you get these things done. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's important to speak about.
We spoke about the concept of good debt and bad debt, and because when, for example, you can take on a rent to rent, somebody will be like, you should never be really careful of debt. But if you know you've got a deal that's going to make you, and also you don't want to overexpose yourself. Let me caveat by saying that. But if you've got a £3,000 overdraft and you've got a deal that could potentially make you £600 a month, but you know that you're going to have to dip into that overdraft for 3 months, at maybe 1,500. It's going to cost you an amount in interest, but your relative rate of return, and that's it. So there is concepts of good debt, and you extend that to your business going forward when it comes to loans, when it comes to, because that's it.
That is such a good point, because that's the attitude we kind of used, like going in when we started that rent to rent before we moved on to other stuff. But we were just like, yo, okay, cool, there's $3,000 there, cool, this is what we need to do. We know this is going to make us this X, Y, Z, and we'll figure it out, kind of thing. So it was that kind of attitude that helped as well.
And just let the numbers lead you. So don't try and massage it.
Force the numbers.
I did that earlier.
We made a mistake.
Earlier.
Raise your hand right now if you forced the deal.
Come on, bro.
We had to force it.
In hindsight, should you have done the deal?
Hell no.
So that is a big key.
Ego's something in there as well.
You look at that bedroom and you think, I could possibly get £50 more for that room. If I push that room,
but you have to, and that's why I say that, work it backwards. Say what the numbers are, then say what your costs are, then see what they're asking for it. And if anything, that means you have to offer less. Not just hope you can get more.
Exactly. Work backwards.
And give it to someone as well. Give it to someone that can give you honest feedback as well. Because you yourself will always try and massage the deal. But if you give it to someone else, they'll be like, no, bro.
You can even ask them, like, would you do this deal? Look at you, like,
is that it?
Just leave it.
So that's it. So you've moved through your residential purchases to obviously the podcast, to rent to rent. What's on the clock? I've seen you've been busy, so what's going on?
So I think the next step for us was I feel like with us, we've done every single step. We've done everything. You know, all these property strategists. We've done the rent to rent, we've done sourcing, we've done HMO, we've done service accommodation that flopped drastically. We need to talk about that one day. But do you know what I mean? We've kind of done every step. So right now, obviously, we just moved away from that HMOs now. We're going into commercial to resi conversions, and then now I think we've got a first new development, ground up development kind of thing. So yeah, so I mean, the end goal, what our passion or where we're trying to move towards is kind of doing developments and more commercial to resi conversion and stuff like that.
Just
So,
bigger deals, really.
Yeah. And you know, all the teachers from all the smaller projects have contributed to this.
Facts.
So everyone hears like the new build developments. I think we just jumped there. Like we've been doing like house refurbs. Like I'm documenting one again because we want to show the basics, like what we used to do.
it's the same energy.
It's the same thing,
Just
the
a
same
bigger
HMOs and all these things.
And I think actually like doing this as well, we actually realised that we're passionate about teaching other people too, because we were getting so many questions and it was the same question, like where do I start, what is this, what contracts do I need, and all of those basic questions that we think are like, okay, everyone knows that, but people don't know it.
No, for
so
real.
then we're really passionate about teaching other people too, because anyone can do it really if you just have that right knowledge and the right people around you. So
And apply it.
Yeah, that's good. So that's what you're working towards.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now? Like, have you got any active projects going on? Any of you?
Yeah, so right now, got commercial resi conversion is actually 2. So one is like a office getting converted to 3 flats, meant to be 4, but again, you know, when you massage numbers and then you get the, you know, the size wrong and stuff like
I
that.
think that's the good thing potentially about commercial conversions and residential conversions, are that you have like a stage level of profit, and you can also mitigate risk. Like, okay, on a worst case scenario,
this is how much
number of units makes us break even. This number of units is good, and this is amazing.
Amazing,
but you can kind of mitigate your risk by having I can pull it back.
Because that's exactly why we still carried on with it, because it's like, okay, cool, it's not 4 flats, but it's 3, but it still makes sense. And then I think we're doing another one that's going to be on the Hunter and the Hammer as well, but it's taking longer than it needs to take, man. But
brag.
it's not like a big deal.
This is number 3 from him, man. So we know who wants to shout.
And then that's getting converted to 4 flats, and then I think another one we're doing right now is it's a pub conversion, converting a pub to 3 houses, but it's got land in front of it. We're converting to building 2 houses in front of it. So yeah, man. So
you're busy. You're
busy, man. We're busy
Man.
this year, man.
That's
So
good.
that's what we're on this year. So it's
No, but that's it. And I think the main thing is the fact that you've documented the journey, you've gone through the process, people have seen, like you said, they've seen you potentially taking on a rent-to-rent deal that you wish you didn't. You said you've spoken about the honesty and the transparency of trying a strategy, and it not that the strategy can't be successful, that it wasn't for you based on your skill set. And I think that would be really good to speak on why it wasn't, and if you were going to do it, what you learned from that process. But people have seen the growth. I commend you in terms of, you know what I mean?
Appreciate it, bro.
Come on, man. What's
Appreciate it, man.
achieved to date, and just want to see you continue to elevate. Obviously, lastly, before I let you go, there's one question I ask everyone, the most common question that always gets asked. You know, I want to get into property, but don't know where to start. What advice would you have for a newbie? I get 1 tip from each of you.
All right, cool. First one, and again,
Are you there first again?
No, sorry, no, I think you're doing an order.
No,
I think you're doing an order.
From disorder.
You keep looking at me, so
Appreciate that.
fair, man.
Appreciate that. Hit me off
So that
guard
this
now.
guy
Hit me off
can't try
guard.
steal our ones. then.
And now he doesn't have anything.
I do.
Nah. So one advice for people starting off, generally, listen to the podcast, and I don't just mean that as blah blah blah. I mean generally, go and consume as much content as you can, whether that be podcasts, videos. But I think podcasts are great because you can listen to them on the go. You know, you can listen while you're at work or chilling at home. But consume as much content as you can to kind of then answer the basic questions you have, and then on top of that, any questions you have on top of that, then start to seek advice from people that are obviously out there. Kazy asks all the people out there.
You're giving 2 now.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying. Listen to the podcast.
Give it to You're stealing his next one.
So because you're a team and you've worked together, I'm sure you could sense where he was going, and you was just, you was giving him the layups.
That's what I'm saying. I was about to.
You
jumped in too quick.
Slam dunk.
But go for it.
Kenny, you're next.
Take it then.
So the next one is, I would say find someone that is just 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. Because you haven't got to go for that person who's 10 steps ahead. Like, just go for that person that is doing what you want to do and is maybe just a few steps ahead, because that's the person that you're going to relate to the most, and that's who you're going to learn from the most. And they won't be so far off where you used to be. So they'll be able to teach you in a way that you'll pick it up quickly. So that's what I was saying.
No word. My one, I'll probably say you've heard it before, but I can't, like, it's so important, networking, and the reason I'm saying that is because My business partner I work with quite a lot, I met him from a networking event that I weren't even gonna go to. So I know it's nerve-wracking. Like even now, I don't really like going to networking event because I just feel like people, I don't really like going, but you just don't know what can happen. Like just put yourself out there and go. Like, do you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people might be listening thinking, oh yeah, but I don't have properties or blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. Just present yourself like people are willing to help.
Listen, that's it. Like you gotta come out of your comfort zone. I had a friend that I dragged to a networking event once, and he was like, "Bro, I'm just an estate agent. Like, why am I going?" He's saying just. I'm like,
bro,
you don't understand.
We need estate agents. Yeah, we need estate agents.
You don't got the deals.
Yeah, of course.
Of course,
your value.
He was so confused that like people was queuing up to speak to
exactly.
him. And it's like people don't know what it is. And I say to people that, look, you don't know what it is. If you're the editor that knows how to edit, and half the people in property haven't got a clue
how to do social media or anything,
now you've got something that you can offer them a service, vice versa. Exactly what you said in terms of like, you know, find somebody who's doing what you want to do, and you now got a sounding board and somebody that you're working towards. And you said, listen to Property by Kazy's.
Yeah, I mean, Property Strat.
Property Strat,
everyone. But yeah, no, that has been another amazing episode of the Property by Kazy podcast. As always, you know the good stuff. These lot are gonna mock me, but you gotta subscribe. You gotta like the video.
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, this one. And then you gotta turn on those post notifications so you catch every episode and don't miss out. We're gonna be back next week with another fantastic episode. So lock in.
Bow. Peace.
Yeah.
Lovely, man.
That was good, man.
Lovely.
I love the energy.